common scenario in Nigerian markets today, of consumers complaining at the mention of prices of items by traders. It is usually an expression of shock, followed by a quick comment or question, such as, "But I bought it at a certain amount the other day, why the sudden rise?" And whatever the response that follows that question, the consumer still has to buy, especially talking about food items. Reality is that food prices have consistently increased in the past months.
This was now like last year, better past this year. Everything was come up basket of tomatoes like 11,000. All both must come to buy themselves. You didn't need to go market now. Like the money they buy last year, this year it was. So make a Nigeria.
The question is, why should we pay so much for food, considering the country's vast arable farmlands, favorable weather condition, and recent investments in agriculture, among others? Fact is, increasing food prices is not peculiar to Nigeria or Africa. It is a situation also affecting wealthier and more technologically advanced countries.
83.7% of Nigerian population doing agriculture in its primitive stage. Now, you don't see men of between 30, 35, 40 coming into agriculture to do it as a full-blown job. Agriculture in Nigeria is actually being perceived as an occupation for those who have failed in urban pursuit to retire home to doing it here.
While consumers decried a steady increase in food prices, groups like the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization (FAO) are taking a harder look at some of the factors contributing to this rise, including the role of climate change. Climate change has been attributed to greater inconsistencies in agricultural conditions all over the world, from more erratic flood like the type currently experienced in Nigeria to longer growing seasons in typically colder climates. The effect of climate change is biting harder on the Earth planet, and Nigeria is beginning to see a new dimension to this environmental crisis.
Anything you do not measure, you cannot improve. Anything you can't measure, you can't improve. That is why subsistence agriculture was subsistence for a long time. Nobody was measuring. Anything you can measure, you can improve. Let us find out we have 150 million people, and we have to give this 150 million people, let's say, whether it is milk, curry, rice, yam, every day. Remember, there are 7 billion people in the world, and there are only 1 billion cars. But there are 7 billion people who must eat. So car is a luxury. So if you have one, you are lucky. You should be lucky. You belong to 16% of humanity who have cars. Only 16% of human beings in the whole world have cars. But 100% of human beings must eat. And the problem is that WHO, the World Food Program, they're saying 4 billion people are going home hungry. How do we feed the hungry population? You need research and development in all aspects of agriculture.
According to Oxfam International, the impact of climate change on food prices is underestimated. The International Organization on Development predicts that massive price spikes will be a devastating blow to the world's poorest people, who today spend up to 75% of their income on food. With such predictions and the recent warning by weather experts and the National Emergency Management Agency (NEMA) on more flows likely to hit the already devastated states, while government's efforts at evacuating flood victims and providing them with relief materials is commendable, there is more to these floods than meet the eye. Reports of countries that started feeling the pinch of climate change and food production few years back show that they do not get out of the crisis but have been able to manage them by deploying more technologies in agriculture to reduce subsistence farming. What we are seeing with flood is a glimpse of the future with global warming.
Things seems to have gone wrong. Look at Nigeria now. Desertification is more like a problem, which also brought about the issue of erosion, because all the land covers have been destroyed and have been mismanaged. What we can do to ensure this is to start with man, because we have a lot of challenges arising from the global climatic change, and it is on the basis of this that we have all our problems.
By the United Nations estimates, if current trends persist, developing countries will be worst affected by climate change pressure and food production and pricing, while experiencing the effects of severe environmental conditions. The report adds that advances in technology make it unlikely that overall world food production will decline due to climate change. But agricultural conditions will likely only increase developing countries' dependence on imported food.